Hey kids, so it's been what, two and a half months or so ever since we started playing this game with the social justice warrior crowd and the corrupt games press. So far we've taken several of them down a peg and we've done the unthinkable that no one thought we could ever do. We bloodied the nose of fucking Gawker Media, the internet kings of yellow journalism. We've taken their crown from their head and trampled it into the mud. But there's still a lot more to do. Now they're saying that Gamergate is over, but fuck that, we really aren't. We're still finding out new levels of corruption that were taking place the whole time, and I'm sure we'll find out more in the coming months as we continue. We have the Game Journal Pro list, the best weapon we could ever have had, and we need to use it more. It is, however, getting to the point where we're going to need to come up with some actual defined goal. Otherwise, we're going to go off the rails and just continue on and on, long past the point of reason. And if we do that, we'll probably start to become more like the social justice warrior crowd. We need a point at which we know that we've done what we need to do and we can stop. But that's not what this video is about. We can decide on that stuff later. This is about a proposition that I would like to put in place. And it's one that I've seen bandied about a little bit before, but it's one that I really want to see put into action. Wanting to boycott the AAA titles this holiday season. So far, most of the game developers, at least in the big name companies, have been more or less on the fence about this whole thing, or at least trying not to take sides. Not all of them, of course. I think Nintendo's come out to support us, and I think maybe Square Enix, I'll have to check that, but not all of them have tried to stay neutral in this. So just assume that I'm excluding those ones from the things that I'm about to say next. The actions of these companies are just as much a part of the problem as the journalists themselves. After all, the journalists didn't just randomly find piles of cash and hookers lying around. Well, I don't know, maybe they did, but I find it highly unlikely. And of course, granted, the game developers didn't force the cash and hookers into their hands either. But we could get a lot more done if they would step in and help our side put pressure on the media. Remember, we're the ones who ultimately pay all of their salaries. That is our power, and that is why Gamergate can't lose as long as we keep the pressure up. Never mind the claims of being misogynist or racist, we know the truth and PR does not matter. In this kind of war, only dollars matter, and in that sense, we have all the nukes. So I would like to propose a letter-writing campaign to the big game companies, telling them that if they do not intervene in helping to corral the bastard child that they've helped to spawn, we will begin a holiday season boycott of all of the AAA titles. This is something that they could never afford to have happen, and they will simply have to get involved at this point. Not only will they have to get involved, but it will be a sign to them of exactly how seriously we take this. Now, I've taken the liberty of writing up a basic template of a letter that people can use if they don't want to write their own. You can find a link to it where you can download it in the low bar below. There are some things that will need to be tailored to suit the individual company, of course, but if you don't want to do the whole thing yourself, it's a good starting point. So here's the letter that I've written. To whom it may concern, a good morning or evening to you. My name is Alzael. I am a gamer, a blogger, a video maker, and writer, and also one of the participants in #Gamergate, and I am writing to voice my concern over the situation that we find ourselves in. You may or may not be aware, but Gamergate is a consumer-driven movement aiming to change gaming journalism's corrupt and abusive nature. Since starting, those of us who are members have been met with slanderous and unsupported claims of being misogynist who hate women and want to exclude them from gaming. This is a complete fabrication on the part of those we fight to discredit us. #Gamergate is only interested in honest journalism, the end of nepotism, honest debate, and inclusiveness. It is the very people that are slandering us that are the misogynists and the ones who desire to exclude others. Those in Gamergate have been exposed to endless gender-based and racist attacks. Women who support Gamergate have been compared to house niggers by the other side. Calls for violence have been made. I have included screenshots of many of these threats as evidence. Among the many things discovered by Gamergate is the existence of the gaming journalism's secret mailing lists, which show how deep the corruption and abuse of game journalism goes, as well as the attempts at censorship of those of us who voice our opinions. The removal of over 32,000 posts from Reddit discussing Gamergate, as well as the takedown of entire subreddits, the DDoSing of the escapist, and other such things show a deliberate unwillingness to engage in a blatant attempt to force the silence of any free speech or criticism. Which brings me to the point of this letter. There is much that the larger game development companies such as yourself could do to deal with this problem. The corruption in the industry is due in large part to the interactions of game journalists and companies like yours. While we are not laying the blame on you and your company specifically, one must admit that no one in the industry is truly blameless in this matter. However, with media outlets such as Gawker Media, Kotaku, and Gamasutra already feeling the sting of alienating the gaming audience, it is clear that we, the consumers, still need to make our point clear. The people that you currently work with in the gaming media are quite literally biting the hand that feeds them. They have slandered us, degraded us, declared us dead, and tried to silence us when we voice our opinions. Associating yourself with their hate can only hurt your business and your reputation among the gamers who use your products, of which I am one of. To this end, we have decided that we must send a very clear message to not only them, but to the developers who allow the perpetuation and partake in this corruption. This is to inform you that we are beginning the organization of a boycott of all AAA titles this holiday season. We feel that it is important that we make our displeasure with the current system of doing things known, so we will be making it quite clear with our purchases this holiday season, beginning with Black Friday. I thank you for the time you took to read this, and wish you well. If I have sent this to the wrong person, I apologize, and request that you please pass this on towards the party most appropriate for this message. Signed, Alzael. Guys, I think we need to pass this hashtag around more and more around the Gamergate community. Let's get this started so that we can build up some real momentum by the time that Black Friday rolls around. At the rate we can accomplish things, we could have them on their knees by Christmas. But this is the time to do it. This is the time when we can hurt them the most. So please spread this message around the group. Let's boycott Black Friday. Alzael out.